Okay guys, I cannot wait to make this video on this stock because there's just so much to say on it. ClearValue Tax, he goes out and he makes a video and he says that Exxon stock is one of his top stock picks for 2023. So just to be clear here, he didn't say it was his top stock pick, his number one stock pick. He said it was one of his top stock picks. And he made a lot of good points in the video. He talked about long-term oil demand. He talked about green energy and will this replace oil? He talked about new oil discoveries found in Guyana. And he talked about a few metrics that attracted him to the stock. I'm not going to repeat his points, but basically he thinks that Exxon stock is a good stock buy for 2023 due to a low PE ratio and strong oil demand by the world in the future, which will benefit Exxon. There were some points which I would like to address that ClearValue did not get a chance to address in his video. And that's fair enough. There's only so much that you can put in a short-term YouTube video. That's what I'm going to try doing in this video. Try address Exxon stock in maybe a more in-depth way. We'll do an Exxon stock analysis, the Warren Buffett method, because ClearValue, he made a lot of good points on all of the positives of Exxon stock, but every stock has positives and negatives, risks and rewards, and even if there are mainly rewards to a stock, no stock is worth an infinite price. Okay, let's talk about the business because there is no point in getting into anything else about the stock before you actually know the business and how it makes money. A stock is not just a ticker symbol, but it represents ownership in a business. What is Exxon stock the business? What do they do? How do they make money? If you don't have the patience to learn the business model, you don't have what it takes to own the stock. Simple. Luckily, I think learning the business is pretty fun. For me, it is at least. Exxon is the largest descendant of Standard Oil. Standard Oil is John D. Rockefeller's massive oil company back in the day. And Chevron, Warren Buffett's largest stock buy as the market went down, is the second largest descendant of Standard Oil. But ExxonMobil is the largest investor-owned oil company in the world and also the largest big oil company in both production and market value. It produces about 3% of the world's oil and about 2% of the world's energy. Exxon is vertically integrated across the entire oil and gas industry. Vertically integrated, sounds like a complicated word, but that just means they are found throughout the entire supply chain. This can be split into three segments. One is upstream, so this is oil exploration, extraction, shipping, and wholesale. Second is product solutions, so this includes their retail outlets throughout America and also 29 other countries. They're a world-based company. And third, you have their low carbon solution segments, where Exxon is trying to lower their emissions through a range of cleaner energy solutions. But whether it's the finding of the oil, the extracting it, shipping it, selling it, Exxon can be found almost wherever in the oil industry. Which begs the question, wait, isn't the world transitioning to clean energy? Will we even need oil in the future? Isn't Elon Musk going to make this sector dead? And this is basically what ClearValue Tax talked about with most of his video. He was trying to answer this question. Essentially, he came to the conclusion that the oil industry is not dying anytime soon. He said the global population is still growing. India expects coal demand to increase over the next 12 years. China is expected to use more coal over the next 10 years. And oil demand in total is expected to grow by 1.7% in 2023. This is from the International Energy Agency. From what I can tell, I think ClearValue is actually pretty accurate here. I don't see oil or energy demand becoming extinct anytime in the short to medium term future. The world very much still relies on oil. They actually shouldn't say that money makes the world go round. They should say that oil does, because it literally does. You need oil to fly, to drive, for everything, to operate factories. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Now that you know the business of Exxon, you need to think, how is their business going to go in the future? They dominate in oil, but what's going to happen with the oil industry? This is just a nice question to mull over, have a cup of tea and think that one through, or just discuss it with your friends, because at the end of the day, if you buy the stock, you're the owner in the business, so you need to really think that one through. ClearValue has his opinions. What do you think? But okay, Even if the oil industry is going to do amazing things over the next 10 years, it's going to go amazing and demand will be high, it does not necessarily mean that Exxon is 100% a buy. You have to go into their financials, their numbers, and look for red flags and green flags. So the thing that ClearValue put a high priority on, which attracted him to the stock, is that PE. It's at a price to earnings currently of 9, which means if Exxon do not grow their earnings at all over the next 9 years, it just stays flat, they constantly get that income, that earnings, you'll get all of your money back in profit after 9 years. 9 is a low PE relative to the market. The other thing about Exxon is the dividend. They pay a 3% dividend. And I guess that some people out there, they love dividend stocks. I'm not particularly infatuated by dividends, but they're okay. Overall, I do prefer the earnings, the actual profit that they make. I don't worry too much if they choose to pay out their profit in terms of dividends or share buybacks or reinvesting that money. In fact, I actually prefer it when they reinvest that money in the business. Now, if we go to this website ticker, it gives us a good view of their earnings or profit, same thing, over the past 6 years. Profit has been all over the place over the past 6 years, basically thanks to the pandemic. In 2017, $19.7 billion in profit. 2018 was $20.8 billion. 2019 was $14.3 billion. 2020, we all know what happened then. The world shut down, oil prices fell off a cliff, and so did Exxon's profits. 2021, they recovered to $23 billion. The last 12 months, LTM, profit has shot up like a rocket. It's at $51.8 billion. Now remember that earnings is what you keep as a business owner. Warren Buffett teaches us that when you analyze a stock, analyze it as if you're buying the entire business. So if we go by the last 12 months, they made $51.8 billion in profit, right? That is I believe that's a record for Exxon. The price of the business right now, if we buy the entire business, is $460 billion. That's the market cap. So basically, if you bought all of the shares in Exxon, you would pay $460 billion. 460 divided by the profit, 51.8, equals 8.8. You get all of your money back in 8.8 years, considering that they are able to maintain their earnings at $51.8 billion. But the big question is, what will their earnings be over the next 10 years? Will it be $51.8 billion, or will it be around $20 billion a year, kind of like what they were getting pre-pandemic? If this is the case, 460 divided by 20, then it takes 23 years to get your money back if they maintain that $20 billion. So that is a lot longer and a lot more risky. Or you could say the very bull case is they keep going at what they've done the past 2 quarters. The past 2 quarters, they've got around $18 billion a quarter. Yearly, that is 18 times 4 equals $72 billion a year. So 460 billion divided by 72 billion equals 6.4. If they keep up what they've got over the past 2 quarters for the next 6.4 years, you'll get your money back in profit and still own shares in the company. But that's the bullish case, and I'd much rather be conservative. I'd much rather take the conservative case than the bull case. That's just the type of investor that I am. But guys, that is the big question with Exxon. How are they going to profit over the next 10 years? Will they keep going at what they're doing now? Will they revert back to pre-pandemic earnings? Or will they struggle a lot if the world reverts to clean energy and deliver even below what they got pre-pandemic? That's what you have to determine as an investor. And basically, you just got to think these questions through, research them deeper, and then make up your own conclusion. But one interesting thing that I did want to point out is Warren Buffett's 2 largest buys as the market fell in 2022 was Chevron and Occidental, 2 large oil companies. So Buffett likes oil, or at least he did, at the prices over the past year. Personally, I'd rather go with a stock that Warren Buffett is buying, like Chevron or Occidental, over Exxon, but that's just me. Call me a Buffett fanboy. I do like to have that, I guess you could call it security in a way, knowing that Buffett's buying as well. Guys, let me know what you think of Exxon in the comment section below. There's a lot at play here. It's a very interesting industry, but it does require a lot of knowledge to make an educated decision on this investment. Maybe you might want to just put the stock in the too hard basket if you think there's too much at play here and there's just too much to understand. However, if you know the industry well and you think you have good insight into the oil industry and a good understanding and a good grip, can't speak English, then choose to buy, sell, whatever. That's your choice. That's investing. Investing is your decision. But that is Exxon stock studied the Warren Buffett way. And to finish, I just want to say, if you want, you can follow me on Instagram, Tristan J. Cooper. I do make stories about stocks that I'm studying, and normally I just put in like quick thoughts on what I think of them, not detailed analyses, kind of like this video. It's just quick Instagram stories. So follow me there if you want, maybe don't as well. Also in the description below, you can join my Investing Academy. So here you're going to see the stocks that I do decide to make a decision on, and also the stocks that I add to my watch list, and the intrinsic values of different stocks and different calculations of the intrinsic value of those stocks. And excitingly, I am building a website for value investors. So to start with, what we're doing is we're making an intrinsic value calculator where you can just type in the stock and then you can have this calculator that shows you all the cash flows and lets you discount it back to find the intrinsic value. I am so excited about this. I'm developing this with my brother, who is a software guy, and I want to make this really good, but no promises. It's not going to come anytime soon. People who are a part of the group will be the first people to get it. In the meantime, you'll be able to see all the stocks that I'm buying and the stocks that I'm watching and everything else. So sign the link in the description. Hope you enjoyed the Exxon stock analyses video, the Warren Buffett way.